John Carter sat at his desk on the big Earth ship called Resilience. His job was to listen to space sounds. Most days were quiet. He heard the usual static and star noises. But today was different. His screen lit up with a strange pattern. John leaned forward. This was not random noise. This was a message. Someone out there was talking to Earth. "Captain," he called. "You need to see this." Captain Olivia Martinez rushed over. Her uniform was neat as always, but her eyes showed worry. "What is it, Carter?" "A signal, ma'am. From deep space. It has a pattern." The team worked for hours to understand the message. When they finally did, the room went quiet. "They call themselves the Galactic Hegemony," John said slowly. "They say they rule this part of space. 17 alien races who work together." Martinez frowned. "And what do they want?" John looked up at her. "They want us to pay them. Resources, knowledge, technology. They call it tribute. They say it's the price for their protection." Word spread fast. Soon, all of Earth's leaders knew about the message. They called an emergency meeting. The biggest meeting room in the United Nations building was full. Dr. Alan Wright was an expert in alien languages. He stood up to speak. "There's something strange about this message," he said. "They don't ask if we will pay. They just tell us to pay. They think we have no choice." Defense Chief Greg Brown hit the table with his hand. "This is just space bullies wanting free stuff." Susan Lee, who led the science team, spoke next. "We need to know more. How strong are they? What happens if we say no?" Outside the meeting room, people all over Earth went about their day. They did not know aliens had found them. They did not know Earth was facing its biggest test. The leaders talked all night. Some wanted to pay the tribute. "We are too weak," they said. "We must buy time." Others wanted to fight. "Earth belongs to humans," they said. "We won't give up what's ours." A few wanted to try talking. "Maybe we can make a deal," they said. As they argued, more news came in. The Hegemony ship had entered our solar system. It passed Jupiter. It was heading for Earth. "We need to decide now," Martinez told the room. "They will be here in 3 days." Dr. Wright studied more of the alien message. "Look at this part," he said. "They've done this before. Many times. They find new worlds, demand payment, and take what they want." "What happens to those who don't pay?" someone asked. Wright's face was grim. "There's no mention of any who refused." The room went quiet again. The biggest choice in human history waited for an answer. "I have an idea," said Martinez. She pulled up some files on the main screen. "We've been working on something, a project not many know about." The screen showed a new kind of shield, a weapon that might work against alien ships. "We never thought we'd need it so soon," she said. "But it's ready." The Earth leaders looked at each other. Slowly, they began to nod. "Then we have our answer," said the United Nations leader. "When they come, we will give them our response." Outside the windows, the stars seemed to watch. Somewhere up there, the Hegemony ship came closer. They expected Earth to bow down. They expected humans to be like all the others. They were about to learn how wrong they were. The United Earth Council met in the big round room in Geneva. People from all countries sat at the curved tables. Their faces were serious. No one smiled. Secretary General Samantha Nelson stood at the front. Her gray suit matched her serious mood. "The alien message is clear," she said. "They want 20% of everything we make. All our metals, our fuel, our food." She paused. "They also want to look at all our science and art. Everything we know, everything we are." William Boyd, who led Earth's armies, stood up fast. His face was red. "This is just robbery with fancy words," he shouted. "They come here with big ships and expect us to give them our stuff." The room got noisy. Everyone talked at once. Some people shouted. Lisa Rodriguez raised her hand. She was known for staying calm when others got angry. The room got quiet to hear her. "We need to know what happens if we say no," she said. "Has anyone ever said no to them before?" The big screen on the wall lit up. Dr. Alan Wright had been studying the alien messages more deeply. "I found something," he said. "Other planets that try to resist." His voice was low. "The hegemony didn't destroy them, but they hurt them badly, broke their power stations, ruined their farms, then made them pay even more tribute after." The room was silent. Everyone thought about Earth cities going dark, about people going hungry. "So we have no choice," someone said sadly. "There's always a choice," said Olivia Martinez. She stood up and walked to the front. "We have something they don't know about." She showed them pictures of a secret base under the Arctic ice. Scientists in white coats worked on strange machines. "Project Shield," she said. "We've been working on it for 10 years. A way to stop attacks from space. A way to protect Earth." "Does it work?" asked Nelson. "We think so," said Martinez. "But we've never tested it against alien weapons." "So we'd be gambling," said Rodriguez, "betting the whole Earth on untested tech." More arguments broke out. Some wanted to fight. Some wanted to pay. No one knew the right answer. For 3 days they talked. They showed each other reports and plans. They called experts from around the world, all while the alien ship came closer. "What about a middle path?" asked Rodriguez on the 3rd day. "We offer them something, but not everything they want." "Bullies don't stop when you give them half your lunch money," said Boyd. "They just learn you're weak." Finally, Nelson called for a vote. Each country would decide: fight or submit. The votes came in slowly. Some countries wanted to pay the tribute, but more and more voted to resist. "The decision is made," said Nelson when all votes were in. "Earth stands together. We will not pay tribute." "But what do we tell them?" someone asked. "How do we say it?" Martinez smiled for the first time in days. Sometimes the simplest answer is the strongest. They worked together to craft Earth's response. Not a long message, not angry words or threats, just one word that would tell the aliens everything they needed to know about humans. Meanwhile, the alien ship entered Earth orbit. It was huge, bigger than anything humans had ever built. It hung above the planet like a metal moon. On board, alien leader Xaltor waited confidently. In his long life, he had taken tribute from 12 planets. Earth would be 13. He expected their message of surrender any moment. His screen lit up. A message from Earth was coming through. What Xaltor didn't know was that as he read Earth's message, hundreds of small satellites were moving into position around his ship. Project Shield was activating. Earth was ready to back up its answer. The alien ship Inevitable Dominance was huge. It floated above Earth like a giant metal cloud. It made Earth's space stations look like toys. Inside the ship, High Emissary Xaltor sat in his command chair. He had blue skin and 4 eyes. 2 of his eyes watched the main screen. The other 2 checked reports from his crew. "Tell me about these humans," he said to his team. A smaller alien with green scales bowed low. "They are young, High Emissary. They only reached space a few Earth turns ago. But they learned quickly." "Good," said Xaltor. "Quick learners make good workers." "What else?" Another alien stepped forward. This one looked like a tall insect. "They are creative, sir. They make much art and music. Their stories are many." Xaltor waved his 6-fingered hand. "Yes, yes. All that will belong to the hegemony soon. Their art will hang in our halls. Their music will play in our homes." He turned to his main assistant. "How long until they send their leaders to us?" "Any moment, High Emissary. No planet has ever kept us waiting long." But instead of seeing human ships come up from Earth, Xaltor's screen lit up with a message. Just one word glowed there. "No." Xaltor blinked all 4 eyes. "What is this?" he asked. "Check the translation. There must be a mistake." His team worked fast. They checked the message many times. "There is no mistake, High Emissary," said the chief translator. "The humans are refusing our generous offer of protection." Xaltor stood up. His blue skin turned darker with anger. "Impossible. No species has ever refused the hegemony." "Sir, they're sending more," said a crew member. The screen changed. Now there was a longer message. It was written perfectly in the hegemony's own language. The message said, "Earth offers friendship to the galactic hegemony as equals. We invite cultural exchange and fair trade. If this is not acceptable, we request your immediate departure from Earth space. Humanity does not pay tribute." The bridge of the alien ship was silent. No one had ever seen anything like this. "They dare," Xaltor finally said. His voice was low and dangerous. "In 17,000 cycles, no one has ever spoken to us this way." He turned to his weapons officer. "Target their orbital platform. The large one. Use low power. We will show them what happens to those who defy us." The weapons officer pressed buttons on his console. Outside the ship, a huge gun began to glow. Energy built up at its tip. "Fire," said Xaltor. A beam of energy shot from the alien ship. It raced toward the International Space Station Beta where 30 humans worked. But something strange happened. Just before the beam hit the station, it vanished. It disappeared like it had never been. "What happened?" demanded Xaltor. "Did we miss?" "No, sir," said the weapons officer. His voice shook. Something absorbed our beam." Alarm sounds filled the bridge. Outside, small Earth ships appeared from nowhere. They surrounded the alien ship. "Impossible," whispered Xaltor's science advisor. "Our scans showed no such technology. They are supposed to be primitive." A new message came from Earth. This time, it was a voice. A human woman spoke clearly. "This is Admiral Olivia Martinez of Earth Defense Force. Your attack has been blocked. We prefer peace, but we are ready for war. Our turn to demonstrate." One of the small Earth ships sent out a pulse of light. It went right through the alien ship's shields. Suddenly, the lights on the alien ship's lower deck went out. "What did they hit?" asked Xaltor. "Just the recreation area, sir," said his engineer. They could have hit life support. They chose not to." Xaltor sat back in his chair. For the first time in his long life, he felt fear. Xaltor paced the bridge of his ship. His 4 eyes blinked fast. His blue skin had turned almost white with shock. "This is not possible," he said for the 10th time. "Humans are Type 0.8 civilization. They should have just basic space travel. Not shields that stop our weapons. Not beams that cut through our defenses." His science team huddled in the corner. They looked at readings from their machines. They whispered to each other with worried faces. "High Emissary," said the head scientist finally. "We have checked again. The humans hid their true level from us. They let us see only what they wanted us to see." "Clever apes," said Xaltor. He was not used to being tricked. "What is their real level?" "At least Type 1.2, sir, maybe higher." This was bad news. The hegemony only took tribute from planets below Type 1. More advanced worlds were too hard to bully. A voice came over the ship speakers. It was Admiral Martinez from Earth again. "Hegemony vessel, we await your response. Will you deal with us as equals, or will you leave?" Xaltor looked at his advisors. "We cannot back down," he said. "If word spreads that a young race stood up to us and won, others might try the same." "But sir," said his war leader, "their tech is strong. We didn't plan for a real fight." "Then we must try words instead of weapons," said Xaltor. He turned to his best speaker. "Tell the humans we accept their offer of talks. For now." Down on Earth, in the big command center under the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Martinez got the alien message. She smiled. "They want to talk," she told her team. Phase 1 worked. John Carter, who had first heard the alien signal, looked confused. "I thought the plan was to make them leave." "The real plan is bigger," said Martinez. "We never just wanted them gone. We want to change how the whole galaxy works. On a screen nearby, they could see the alien ship surrounded by Earth's small defense ships. It looked like a whale circled by dolphins. Our ships could take them out right now, said Defense Chief Boyd. Why wait? Because, said Martinez, dead aliens tell no stories. We need them to go home and tell everyone what happened here. How Earth said no. How we backed it up. On the alien ship, Xaltor made a hard choice. He sent a message to the Hegemony Council, far away among the stars. Unexpected problem at Sol system, it said. Local species shows surprising resistance and advanced tech. Request guidance. It would take days for the answer to come back. Until then, he had to deal with the humans. Prepare a meeting room, he told his staff. We will invite their leaders here. Sir, said his safety officer, is that wise? What if they try to hurt you? Xaltor laughed, but it was not a happy sound. They could have hurt us already. They chose not to. These humans are strange. They have power but show mercy. Back on Earth, Martinez got the invitation. She called a quick meeting with the Earth Council. They want us to go to their ship, she told them. To talk face to face. It could be a trap, said someone. Secretary General Nelson shook her head. I don't think so. They know we can defend ourselves now. They'd want to understand us. Who should go? Asked Rodriguez. I will, said Nelson. And you, Rodriguez, for your diplomatic skills. And Martinez, since the aliens already know her voice. And me, said Dr. Wright. They might use tricks with language. I'll spot them. The plan was set. 4 humans would go to the alien ship. They would be the first humans to meet aliens in person, the first to speak for Earth to the stars. As they got ready to leave, Boyd gave them each small guns that fit in their pockets. Just in case, he said. Be brave, but be careful. News spread fast across the stars. The Hegemony had thousands of ships that could talk to each other across great distances. Soon, many alien worlds heard the same story. A young race called humans had said no to paying tribute. Not only that, but they had the power to back up their words. In a busy spaceport around a distant star, a tall alien with gray skin heard the news. His name was Vorlak, leader of the Loraxians. His people had paid tribute to the Hegemony for 700 years. Is it true? He asked his assistant. Someone finally stood up to them. It seems so, said the assistant. These humans have shields our masters cannot break. Weapons our masters cannot stop. Vorlak looked out at the Hegemony tax ships taking Loraxian goods. His eyes narrowed. Find out more about these humans, he said quietly. Similar scenes played out on 12 other worlds. Species that had bowed to the Hegemony for centuries began to whisper. Some dared to hope. Back on Earth, a young man named Ryan Foster sat at his desk in the Global Defense Network office. His job was to study alien messages. For days, he had been looking at talks between Hegemony ships. Ryan called his boss, Karen Diaz, to his desk. Look at this, he said, pointing to his screen. I've been tracking how they talk about us. Karen leaned in. What did you find? At first, they called us primitives and tribute sources, said Ryan. Now they use words like dangerous and unpredictable. He smiled. But here's the interesting part. When they talk to each other in private, they use another word a lot. What word? Asked Karen. Ryan pointed to a graph on his screen. One word appeared more than any other. Fear, he said. They're afraid of us. Karen looked surprised. The mighty Hegemony, afraid of Little Earth. Not of our weapons, said Ryan. They've seen stronger. They're afraid of our idea. What idea? That a young race can say no. Ryan leaned back in his chair. Think about it. The Hegemony rules by making everyone believe resistance is pointless. We just showed it's not. Meanwhile, on the alien ship, the human delegation met with Xaltor and his advisors. They sat at a long table in a room with strange blue lights. Secretary General Nelson spoke first. We come in peace, but also in strength. Earth wishes to be friends with all who treat us as equals. Saltor's 4 eyes blinked slowly. The concept of equals is new to our relations with developing worlds. The hegemony provides protection. Worlds provide tribute. This is how it has been for many cycles. Protection from what? Asked Dr. Wright. What dangers are so great that planets must give up their freedom? The aliens looked at each other. None had asked this question before. The dangers of space are many, said Saltor, but his voice sounded hollow. Admiral Martinez leaned forward. We've studied your history, High Emissary. Your hegemony began as 3 worlds working together against a common enemy. A noble start. But somewhere along the way, you became what you once fought against. Saltor stood up suddenly. This meeting is over for today. You may return to your planet. As the humans left, Rodriguez whispered to Nelson. He's rattled. We got under his skin. Good, said Nelson. A rattled bully makes mistakes. Back in his private room, Saltor finally got a message from the Hegemony Council. He read it with growing anger. Deal with the human problem quickly, it said. Other tribute worlds are watching. Make an example of Earth. Saltor threw the message device across the room. The council didn't understand. These humans weren't like the others. They couldn't simply be bullied or destroyed. For the first time in his long life, Saltor wondered if the hegemony might be wrong. 2 weeks passed. Earth and the hegemony ship talked every day. Sometimes the talks went well. Sometimes they did not. But no more weapons were fired. Finally, Saltor made a new offer. We invite you to send people to our regional center, he told Secretary General Nelson. It is on a planet around your nearest star. You call it Proxima Centauri. Nelson was surprised. You have a base so close to us. We never saw it. Saltor's mouth moved in what might have been a smile. We have bases near all promising worlds. We watch for a long time before we make contact. The Earth Council met to decide who would go to the alien base. This would be the first time humans traveled to another star. I recommend a small team, said Martinez. 1 leader, 1 scientist, and 1 soldier. They chose diplomat Eric Patterson to lead the team. He was calm and smart. They also picked Dr. Natalie Rogers, who studied alien cultures, and Commander Jason Miller from the Space Force. The 3 humans left Earth on a hegemony ship. It took only 2 days to reach Proxima Centauri. On Earth, such a trip would take many years. The humans saw how far ahead the aliens still were in some ways. The planet they landed on was cold and dry, but the alien base was warm inside. As they stepped off the ship, the humans saw aliens from all 17 hegemony species for the first time. Some had many arms. Some had wings. Some looked almost like fish or birds. All watched the humans with curious eyes. Patterson spoke first. We come from Earth seeking understanding, not conflict. We want to be friends with all who treat us fairly. The aliens whispered to each other. This was not how new worlds usually talked to them. A grand feast was held that night. The humans sat at a big table with the most important aliens. Patterson noticed something strange. Some aliens served food and drinks to others. They kept their eyes down and did not speak unless spoken to. What are those aliens doing? He asked quietly. Those are tribute species, explained a tall purple alien. They serve the founding species who protect the galaxy. And the ones in between? Asked Dr. Rogers. Those who serve sometimes but are also served. Those are probationary species, said the purple alien. In time, they may rise to become founding species, or they may fall and become tribute species. It depends on their worth. Commander Miller whispered to Dr. Rogers. Their whole society is about who is above who gives orders and who obeys. Yes, she whispered back. And we've said we won't play that game at all. After dinner, Patterson spoke with many aliens. Most were shocked by Earth's stance. All must have a place in the order. one told him. Above some, below others. This is the way of peace. On Earth, said Patterson, we believe the best peace comes when all have equal rights, even if all have different strengths. The alien made us sound like a laugh, a child's dream. The galaxy is too big for such things. But Patterson saw how some of the tribute species aliens listened closely to his words. Their eyes showed something they had not felt in a long time. Hope. Late that night, Patterson, Rogers, and Miller met in their room to talk privately. They're afraid of our idea more than our weapons, said Rogers. The idea that a society can work without some people stepping on others. Will the hegemony attack Earth? Asked Miller. Patterson looked out the window at the strange stars. I don't think so. Not directly. But they will try to isolate us. Make sure our ideas don't spread. Too late, said Rogers with a smile. I saw how the servant aliens looked at us. Word is already spreading. Earth's defiance lit a fire across the stars. On the cold world of Loraxi, Vorlak met with his closest advisors in a hidden room deep under the ground. The humans have shown us what is possible, he said. His gray skin looked almost silver in the dim light. For too long we have paid what we could not afford, given away food while our children went hungry. But the hegemony is so strong, said one advisor. How can we fight them? Not alone, said Vorlak, but with allies. He pressed a button, and a small screen showed the face of a human woman. Greetings, Vorlak, said Susan Powell, who led Earth's new star relations team. Are you ready to take the next step? Similar talks happened in secret on 5 other worlds. Species that had bowed to the hegemony for lifetimes began to plan together. The Vedrak, who were few but very smart, sent their top scientists to Earth. The Jiku, who built the best ships, sent ship plans. The Elnar, who could see the future sometimes, sent warnings about hegemony plans. Susan Powell's office in the United Nations building became the heart of this new group. She worked day and night, talking to aliens across the stars, building trust, and making plans. We don't want to fight the hegemony, she told them all. We want to change it, make it fair for everyone. Most aliens had never heard such ideas. In the hegemony, the strong ruled the weak. That was the only way they knew. How can the strong and weak be equal? Asked one alien leader. Not equal in strength, explained Susan. Equal in rights, in how they are treated, in the respect they are given. These new ideas spread like fire, even to worlds that had been part of the hegemony for thousands of years. Meanwhile, the hegemony leaders met on their home world, a giant planet with 3 suns. They argued about what to do. We must crush the humans now, said one leader, hitting the table with his 4 fists. Show everyone what happens to those who defy us. Their weapons are strong, said another, and many of our ships are busy keeping order on tribute worlds. A third leader, the oldest and wisest, spoke softly. Perhaps we should offer the humans a place among us, as equals. They have proven their worth. The room exploded with angry shouts. Give a young race equal standing. It had never been done. As they fought, more bad news came. The Loraxians had stopped sending tribute. The Vedrak had closed their borders to hegemony ships. 3 more worlds had begun talking about a new way of working together. Back on Earth, Ryan Foster showed Karen Dias his newest findings. Look at this, he said, pointing to his screen. The hegemony fleet is splitting up. Some ships are going to protect tribute worlds. Some are coming here. They don't have enough ships to do both well. Karen nodded. Just as Admiral Martinez predicted, they're spreading themselves thin. In Geneva, the Earth Council met with representatives from 7 alien races. They sat around a round table, with no one at the head. All equal. Today we take a historic step, said Secretary General Nelson. Not just for Earth, but for all free peoples among the stars. They signed a new agreement. It said all worlds had the right to rule themselves. All people had the right to be treated fairly, and all would stand together against those who tried to take these rights away. They called it the Free Worlds Alliance. Word spread across the galaxy. More worlds asked to join. The hegemony tried to stop the news from spreading, but could not. Everything was changing, all because one small planet had dared to say no. 5 years passed since Earth first said no to the hegemony. Much had changed across the stars. Today was a big day for everyone. In New Geneva, a city built just for this moment, ships from 34 different worlds landed. Each brought important people to sign the new Galactic Concordance. The Grand Hall of Humanity was filled with beings of all shapes and sizes. Some breathed air that would kill humans. They wore special suits. Some could not stand in Earth gravity, so they floated in bubble-like fields. Some had many eyes or arms or legs. All were welcome. Jack Wilson walked among them, taking notes. Once he had been a simple history teacher. Now he wrote the story of how humans joined the galaxy. He had seen it all, from the first alien message to today. A young Loraxian moved next to Jack. He had gray skin that sparkled in the light. "You are the human who writes our shared story, yes?" Jack nodded. "I try to. It's a big job." "When did you know things would change?" asked the Loraxian. His voice was like music. "When did you know we would win?" Jack thought for a moment. "When we realized that sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is the simplest thing." The Loraxian looked confused. "You mean when your leaders said no?" "Exactly. One word. Not angry, not scared, just clear. That's when I knew." The great doors at the end of the hall opened. People grew quiet. President Helen Garcia of Earth walked in. She had been elected last year to lead this new age. Behind her came leaders from the other free worlds. Some flew, some crawled, some rolled. All moved with pride. On the main stage was a simple table. On it was the Galactic Concordance, a document that had taken 4 years to write. All 34 worlds had helped make it. It said 3 main things. First, all worlds had the right to rule themselves. Second, all beings deserved to be treated with respect. Third, all would help each other against any who tried to take these rights away. President Garcia signed her name first. Then each world's leader added their mark. The hegemony still existed, but it was much smaller now. Only 7 worlds still followed the old ways. They had sent people to watch the signing, but refused to join. A tall alien in hegemony uniform stood in the back. His face showed no feeling, but his eyes missed nothing. After the signing, people talked and ate together. Jack saw Admiral Martinez, now with gray hair, standing alone by a window. He went to her. "Quite a day," he said. She nodded. "The hegemony ruled through fear for 10,000 years. We ended that with a single word." "What happens next?" asked Jack. "Will the hegemony try to fight back?" Martinez smiled. "They already tried. 3 years ago, they sent ships to attack one of our new friends. But 20 worlds sent ships to help. The hegemony ran away. And now we build something new. Not perfect. Nothing is. But better than what was before." As the sun set, the leaders of all 34 worlds stood together on the steps of the Grand Hall. Above them, the first stars appeared. "Today marks a new age," said President Garcia to all watching across the galaxy. "An age where no one must bow to another. Where strength comes not from forcing others to serve, but from working together as equals." Jack wrote these words in his book. They would be read by people on many worlds for many years. The stars seemed to shine brighter that night, as if they too knew that things had changed forever. All because one small planet, when told to pay tribute, had found the courage to say one small word: no.